Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Brooke and I am a mom of 5 living with my husband and children on a remote farm in central Canada. This channel exists to document our family's financial journey as I work towards getting us out of debt and building some savings and eventually achieving financial freedom. If you have seen my previous videos, you know that our income is erratic. We don't have like an every other Friday or an every Friday kind of pay schedule. So some months I do get money on Fridays, and some months I get a little trickle of money throughout the month and then a larger amount all at once. April has been one of those months where I've really had to stretch my money in the first half of the month, and now we have our big chunk of money for the month, so I've just paid all my bills. I've put money aside for the mortgage, and now I've got what's left after paying the bills and mortgage. So this is what we're going to work with this week, and thankfully it's quite a lot more than last week. And that just gives me a sigh of relief because, man, the weeks when we have to stretch things really weigh on me. Okay, so let's see how much we're working with this week. We have 100, 50, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 400, 20, 40, 60, 80, 500, 20, 40, 60, 80, 600, 20, 40, 60, 80, 700, 20, 40, 60, 80, 800, 20, 40, 60, 80, 900, 20, 40, 60, 80, 1000, 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 30, 40, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 305. So we have $1,305 to work with this week. And unfortunately, I was not able to get a lot of the denominations I wanted from the bank. So I've got a lot of 20s to work with, and I hope it's going to work out because there were some envelopes, quite a few envelopes that I wanted to put 10s in, and I don't have very many 10s at all. So I might have to kind of make some change as we go. So, all right. So first and foremost, we're going to start with the wallet envelopes. So groceries this week, I have a 5 left over, and I don't even know how I pulled that one off. I feel like I say this every time I have rollover. I don't know how I did that because I always expect that I'm going to have not quite enough in my envelope. I feel like it's like what I've got is just barely going to cut it. So I'm always surprised when there's something left over. But particularly last week, I was really tight last week. I had way less than usual for groceries. And so it actually is some kind of small miracle that I have this 5 left. So I'm going to tuck that back there and we'll do something with that later. So that's groceries. I have nothing in gas, nothing in dog food, and nothing in the feed store. And I don't think I even stuffed dog food and feed store last week because there just wasn't enough and we had what we needed for the week anyway. Okay, so let's see here. I think I'm going to try to use up a bunch of my 20s in my weekly spending so I don't have that much stuffed into my binders because, you know, it's pretty thick. So groceries will get 350. So let's go 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 45 and 50. And I just do a quick double check on my counting there just in case I accidentally goofed up, and if it's good, we'll put it in the envelope. Okay, 350 for groceries this week. Now, lately I've been doing 300 for groceries for our family of 7. However, this weekend on Easter, we have birthdays. 2 of my kids have birthdays, and we also have Easter. And so we'll be doing a little bit extra, I think, in the grocery department. So I thought I'd stuff just a little bit extra in there. That will go in my wallet. Gas, I did put some gas in when I pulled my cash out. So in addition to what was already spent, which was 60, I'm going to add another 40. When these bigger pays come around where I'm not so stretched, man, it's such a relief. It feels so good to be able to just put into the envelopes what I need to put into the envelopes without figuring out how I'm going to make a smaller amount work. Okay, the dogs are going to get $140. 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40. So I did not get dog food last week. It is time to stock up again. So I will get that this week. And then the feed store is getting $80. 20, 40, 60, 80. Great, there we go. Okay, so that's it for my wallet. Now, I've barely touched these binders the last several weeks. I think it's been 3 or 4 weeks since I really got to do anything in these binders. And as you can see, I have quite a bit left here for binders this week, so I'm so thankful. Because when you go weeks without making any progress in these sinking funds, it is really disheartening. So, first and foremost, we're going to start with the emergency fund. Now, this binder is where I keep everything related to the kids and home, and I keep my emergency fund in here too. So the emergency fund this week is going to get 20. And I have committed to putting money in here every week, or not every week, but every time I have money, every time I get paid, I've committed to putting something in the emergency fund, even if it's only $5 or $10, which, as you can see by all the 5s, it's often only $5 or $10. But this week, 20, and it's adding up fast. So we have $100 in a high interest savings account. Then we have 20, 40, 60, 80, 1, 5, 10, 15. So 215 in the emergency fund. And now that I have another 100 here, I will transfer this over into the savings account. I like to do that every time I hit another $100 so that the money is earning me interest instead of just sitting here in my binder. Okay, the grocery buffer this week is going to get $50. I did tap into my grocery buffer last week when things were so tight. So in anticipation of things being tight again in the near future, we're going to tuck 50 in there. And then if I have enough afterwards, I'll come back to the kids' spending envelopes. I like to put $5 in here when I have it, but we'll see. Music lessons. This envelope has been wiped out because my children just competed in a performing arts festival on violin, viola, cello, and piano. And each one of them brought home first place in their various categories. So I was very, very proud of them. But we did have to pay for the adjudication, and we had to pay for their accompanist. So that has been, this envelope has been emptied, and now it's time to start filling it up again for whatever comes next. So we are going to put 20 in there today. Clothing. This one I also wiped out to buy the kids clothes for wearing to the performing arts festival. They all needed nicer stuff than they had, so this is wiped out now, and I think I'm gonna put a 5 in there for today. I might come back to this one and put some more in, but for now, 5 will be good. Shoes is going to maybe get a 10. I don't know if I have enough 10s here, so I might have to make change as I go along. So I might come back to shoes. And then instrument maintenance. This one was also going to get 10. I do wish I had more 10s. I'm definitely going to have to make change somewhere here. Okay. Instrument maintenance got 10. So this is things like violin strings, cello strings, viola strings, rosin, you know, all the things. Thankfully, we don't need to dip into this very often, maybe once or twice a year. My son's cello fund is going to get a 10, I hope. No, I can't make change there. Okay, I'm going to have to come back to the cello fund and put something in there when I'm able to make some change. Okay, so next up, we have our bedroom makeover. That is going to get 10. Do I dare? I might come back to this one also when I'm able to make change. So let's go to the washing machine. The washing machine, I'm going to put 40 in here today. You know what? Let's make that 30 and take this 10 out and put the 10 in the bedroom makeover envelope. Oof, my bills are not cooperating with me. So the bedroom makeover feels like a bit of an indulgence, or a bit of a, you know, spoiling ourselves kind of thing. We've never done anything fancy with our bedroom. And, you know, we're not going to do anything outrageous, just some fresh paint and, you know, maybe a new headboard or something like that. But anyway, it feels indulgent to be putting money in here. Okay, so let's move on. I have to remember to go back. Let's move on to this binder, which is vehicles and farm. So, vehicle maintenance is going to get 10. Man, I do not have enough 10s. Okay, I'm going to use a couple of 5s. There we go. So let's see what we've got in vehicle maintenance now. We've got 5, 10, and 15. I did have more in here, but a little while back I had to replace the headlights on the van, which I did myself and was pretty proud of myself. But yeah, so we're slowly building this one back up. So that's that. Tires is going to get 5. We have a while before we have to worry about changing the tires. We have 25 in here now. This is a really raggedy 5, which makes it kind of challenging. There we go. Tractor maintenance, this is going to get 10. Let's see if I can make, I cannot make change. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'll come back to that one. The tractor itself is going to get 5. So this envelope, our tractor is financed, and I'd like to pay it off sooner than planned. And I can make change now, so I'm going to, we have 20, 30, 35, and 40. So I'm going to put that in there and give myself these smaller ones. So now I'll go back to tractor maintenance and pop a 10 in there. So now we have 15 for tractor maintenance. I feel like I pulled from this envelope for something. I need to start a tracker for this envelope because I feel like I had a little bit more in here and I must have pulled something. Okay, so this is for paying our tractor off faster than planned. And then hay equipment. This is the big one that I've been working on. This is getting 50 today. So in the high interest savings account, I have 100, 200, 300, and now we have 50, 70, 370, plus all the loose change that I've been adding to that savings account at the end of every month. So this one I'm quite proud of. Even though it's not anywhere close to what we need for replacing our hay equipment, I'm still getting there. Okay, the farm is not getting anything at the moment, but the horses are. I think I forgot to put something in for the vet. I am putting something in for the supplements. I'm going to put a 10 in there. Let's do 2 5s. So the horses, you know, they get various supplements, especially when they're working. And we are getting into working season now that the snow is melted and everything's thawing and the cows will be going out to pasture soon. So it's time to start giving them some supplements again. And you know, some of them do get supplements through the winter as well. Okay, body work and dental. Now they just had body work done and dental appointments in March, and I had to pull everything from here and from a few other places because there wasn't enough in this envelope. I do have a few months to save up for the next appointments. So going from nothing here, I'm going to add 10. Let's do 2 5s again. It's really frustrating to not be able to get the denominations you want because it makes it challenging to work everything out in here the way you want it to. Okay, so that's that for the vehicles and farm binder for today. And now we're going to get into holidays and dreams, things that feel like, well, they felt like dreams when I made the envelopes and now they're starting to feel like reality. Okay, so we have birthdays coming up very soon. Like I said, 2 of my kids have birthdays this weekend on Easter. So I have already purchased most of what I need, but I still have to run first thing in the morning to get the last few things. So in here we're going to do 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82. So that is 200 plus there was still $10 in here from before, so we have 210 for the 2 birthday kids this weekend. And now Easter. Easter is going to get 60, 20, 40, and 60. I think that should be good. I don't do too much for Easter. just some chocolate and Easter baskets. So now we have $20, $40, $60, $80, $100. I think that'll be fine. And if it's not, then they'll just have whatever I can get for $100. Okay, now I'm going to flip back here a bit. Trips. I had money in here that I had pulled to pay for my flight. My sister is having her first baby in just over a month. So in about a month, just over a month, I'm going to be flying out to the West Coast to be with my sister for the birth of her first baby. And so I've paid for the flight. So everything's been pulled from this envelope to pay for the flight. And now I need to start putting money aside for eating and whatever else comes up while we are there. So I'm putting 130 in there. And that'll be my mom and I flying out together to go be with my sister. And my husband's workshop is going to get $10. So now we've got $20, $40, $60, $70 for his workshop, which is nowhere close to what we need to build a workshop, but it's better than nothing. That's my mantra. It's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. And let's add, oh, I never was really able to make too much change. Okay. I was going to add 10 in retirement. Let's put a 20 in and take this 5 out. Okay. So now back here, I've got my $5 savings challenge. So this rollover from last week is going to go in the $5 savings challenge. I just need to grab my marker. Okay, so this is a challenge that I made, and it is available for free on my Ko-fi, which I will link in the description. It's a bundle of 3. It's the $5 challenge, the $10 challenge, and the $20 challenge. So I'm going to put this 5 in here. Now I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Perfect. And so far, everything I've put in there has been my rollover from my weekly spending. And nothing for the $10 challenge today. Nothing for the $20 challenge. And in this envelope, I keep all my US change from when I go across the border for gas. And I've got nothing in there, nothing to put in there today. So that's that for this binder. Okay, so I'm going to go back here now. Now where was, I should have made a note because now I forget where I was not able to make change. I did my lessons in sports. I did clothing. Okay, so I am actually going to, oh yeah, and then I wanted to do shoes and cello. I'm going to put 20 in the cello fund and take 5 out. This is not what my original plan was, but I'm just going to roll with what I've got here. So let's put 10 in shoes. And let's put another 5 in clothing. Actually, you know what? Let's put 5 in shoes and 10 in clothing. I think that'll be better. Was there anything else I missed here? Oh, was it the washing machine? Ah, well, whatever. It is what it is. It's a whatever kind of week. There we go. That was the most disorganized stuffing that I have ever done. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much for sticking with me through that kind of minor chaos. I appreciate you being here. I always appreciate your comments, your support, everything. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye.